Warning! Some viewers may find this podcast repugnant. Viewers' discretion is advised.
Liberty or Death podcast.
With your host, Twisted Josh.
Where our motto is facts and common sense over your feelings. No. Why do you gotta say that for?
Yo, what's up, everybody? What is up? Yo, I'm back. Yeah, ghosting for a bit. Yeah. Anyway, started the show a little late. Sorry about that. Hey, I had to, I had some technical difficulties, of course, and had to use the restroom, man. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, TMI, but what is up, everybody? What's going on? How's everybody doing? Damn, it's been a crazy ass week. Let me tell you, crazy ass week. Hey, go ahead and hit that like, share, and subscribe button. If you like this podcast, if not, then hey, I'll still see you around. Yeah. So what we're here today is I don't know why I can't. Oh, give me a second. Oh damn. Hold on. Yeah.
Texas, Mr. President? Probably on Friday. We wanted to leave a little time. I would have done it today, but we'd just be in their way. Probably Friday. This was the thing that happened in seconds. Nobody expected it. Nobody saw it. Very talented people are there, and they didn't see it. It's, I guess they said once in 100 years, they've never seen anything like this. So I wouldn't, people are trying to blame the school. They're trying to blame the camp. They're trying to blame. It's just a horrible thing.
Yo, was my mic muted the whole freaking time? What the heck? Oh, I hope I didn't talk to myself the whole day. Oh my gosh, what the heck? Come on. Yep, it never ends. I'm over here 28 minutes. Hopefully you guys could have heard me because it said my mic was muted, but the problem is that I can still, hear myself. But uh anyway, whatever, dude. It is what it is. But yeah, so hopefully if you guys can hear me, drop a comment. Oh shit! Here we go. Let me see here. Hello, 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 hello. Yep, everything's every. Well, it seems like everything's working, but yeah. So anyway, yeah. So that's basically it on that situation. Yeah. Says Homeland Security Christy Nome was brutally grilled over the delay warning alerts Texas residents received before the monster flash flood was about to devastate the state. Nome joined Governor Greg Abbott and other state personnel for a press conference on Saturday. While she blamed the ancient system and said the Trump administration will look into renewing the system to better work for citizens. We'll go back to that video here, but yeah. So they gave a lot of time, but the problem is that everybody's sleeping around that time. I mean, you can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't say that the weather system basically did what they did. They had there's nothing else they could have done. There's not, and look at this too. Look, watch this video. Look at the timestamp on there. It says 7:15, 17:15. Look how fast that damn thing rolled. Wow. Oh, I'm sorry. That's a wait. Okay, yeah, 7:4. Okay, that's all right. That's July 4th. Yeah. Look how fast, man. Like basically a minute. Wow, dude. You know what I mean? So that is crazy, man. And look at all the devastation as you guys know, out there. Wow, that's nuts, man. Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy. Look at that. Oh, this is the press conference right here. What the hell is that sound coming from?
The state and local governments are working now on that debris removal process. That process is improved because of President Trump's swift uh, declaration of our major disaster declaration. He ensured in less than 24 hours that major disaster declaration was approved, ensuring that state and local governments are going to have more resources to be able to respond to that disaster, more resources to begin the debris removal, more resources to help individuals who've been impacted by this, as well as local governments that have been impacted by this. Bottom line is this, and that is the swift and very robust action by President Trump is an extraordinary help to our response. I also want to thank Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, with whom I spent the day yesterday in Kirk County. On behalf of the state of Texas, we cannot thank her or the Trump administration enough. And importantly, there are dangers over the next 24 to 48 hours that could pose public safety threats to people in these regions. There is heavy rainfall that's already occurred, and there's more heavy rainfall that's expected that will lead to potential flash flooding broadly in these regions: the Big Country, Concho Valley, Central Texas, and once again, Kerrville. The information I'm going to give you is as of this current moment in time, knowing that this information will constantly change throughout the remainder of today as well as in the coming days. In Kerrville, in Kerr County, there are 59 confirmed deceased. There's still 11 missing from county.
Yeah, that was back um, about a week or so ago, but now it's at 121. Yeah, man, that's crazy. It's nuts. But screw you, lefties or whoever, anti-Trumpers or whatever. Yeah, you guys are just pieces of POSs, pieces of crap, PLCs. Yeah, to politicize a freaking, tragedy. I look at things like this. What if it was your kid? What if it was your family member, your dad? Your mom. You know what I'm saying? And you want to sit here and blame who? A president? Oh, like he can control the weather. Now there's a like he can control the weather. Like seriously. Like I think that I saw on TikTok. Let me see if I can pull it up here. But they said here, um, some said before the rain they saw some blue dye or something like that on and um yo, I'm hoping that my voice recorded because I'm just like now I'm tripping out now. I'm sorry, dude. I saw it, man. Oh my gosh, dude, it's gonna drive me nuts now. I'll have to look it up on Twitter because I know good and well I saw it on TikTok. Anyway, there was this camper that saw that actually he they or somebody it was collected before, and it's like this bluish like blue it like almost look like dye water. And then after that it was like storm came or whatever the case is. I may maybe speaking uh wrong on it, but I'm like, what? That's crazy. Wow. But yeah, I believe in clout seeding, so that's that. I really do. And especially when here in Florida, they say they stopped it, but I have to look into it because I didn't look into it much. But from what I heard, DeSantis had basically he just said that enough enough of the chemtrails. So, but which is weird because I saw a couple in the sky yesterday. So I don't know. It had to be like I said. I'll probably do a podcast show on that too. I'll read into that, but yeah. All right, so we're 37 minutes. 37 minutes into the show. Um, yeah. So anyway, all right. So what we're here for, really here for, the Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah. This is and this is what this is. Here we go. So it's gonna take me a while. So I'm trying to, you know. Here we go. So all right. So I don't. So you guys know this. It's this video here. Or actually, no, I don't want to show that right now. Give me a second. Let me show this one instead. Actually, no. You know what? Let's show this one. I'm not gonna. Let's check this out. And I was gonna go to Rumble on it. I was gonna go to Rumble, just to Rumble only. But you know what? Screw it. YouTube, suck it. Even though YouTube, it's fair. My shorts on YouTube have actually gotten, the things I press on play on TikTok. I just transfer them over in case TikTok decides that whatever. I transfer it to YouTube and it gets like thousands of freaking likes. So that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? I get more views on. I'm sorry, I'm get not likes. I get more views on YouTube than I do on TikTok. That's nuts. But then my podcasts, they don't, they get barely. But that's fine. That's fine. It's all about the message. I got to continue to remind myself. It's all about the message for real. We're still fighting information. You know what I mean? We're still fighting that. We're always going to fight that fight until it's until until we actually get censored or they decide to kill the grid or something like that. So anyway, yeah, we're still always going to be having to fight. It's still war on information. So anyway, moving on. Yeah, and for those of you who think, oh, you're a grifter and blah blah, yeah, I don't know. No, it's we. I'm not, and it's all about accountability. Even though it's just because Trump is in office and his administration, you know what I'm saying, are doing their best, and I'm keeping it fair. It's keeping it fair. You know what I mean? I mean, we still got to hold their feet to the fire, whether it's Republicans or Democrat or whatever. I know that as far as I can see on social media, put it to you that way. As far as I can see on social media, I don't see. I hardly see. I actually don't see any lefties. You know what I'm saying? Doing what we're doing, what the right does, or some people on the right too. You know what I'm saying? I'm not all gun ho. Like I said in my beginning. Sorry about the barking. Um, like I said in my deal, I don't worship Trump. I don't. I never will worship a man. I don't idolize a man. That's me. Men are flawed. People like, oh, that's why I don't like the word influencer. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to influence anybody. You know what I'm saying? This is my opinion. Like I said in the beginning, if you guys could hear me if my microphone wasn't muted, opinions are just like assholes. Everybody has one. This is commentary. Deal with it. If you don't like my opinion, you can not follow me, unfollow me. I don't just because I like Trump or just because I voted for Trump. You know what? I really don't care because, like I've always said, I've always been that person. Everything in the world needs balance, and I try to be as balanced as I can. But down to it also runs down to, you know what I'm saying? If you screw up, You know what I mean? That's you're gonna if you screw up, we need to call you out no matter what side of the aisle you're on, no matter what. And for those of you that they say, "Oh, Trump, oh yeah, Trump." No, come on. I don't like I said, I don't get paid for this shit, man. I do my own thing when I want to do it, and that's how I like it. I finance this show. You know what I mean? So that's I said what I said. It is what it is. Um, and that's it. So, sorry I'm going on a rant, but you know what? I'm Mr. Crash Out today. So, you know. All right, let's get on with this shiz. So anyway, and that's why I put that warning on the podcast because it's rated for mature. If you haven't gotten that yet, I don't know what to tell you. We're not a friendly show. Like I said, I've never tried to be. So anyway, moving on. Here we go. This is actually the men that was missing, which is weird. Keep that in mind. We're gonna watch this real quick because I'm gonna show you I'm gonna show you how it, what I think. Or it's actually more than a minute. It's minutes. See, jumps 2 minutes are missing. And I was like, what the what? And I'm like, bro, you killing me. The other I'm like, what the heck? What? And then it just laps. And it's funny that and I told myself it's like you take a 10 or it was supposed to be like 10-hour video and turn it into a minute and a half to 2 minute take. Like that's crazy. You know what I mean? But of course they had to speed it up. But here, where's that minute at? Like, seriously. Bam, money. So what happened? Yeah, what happened to that? Like, okay. All right, I'm gonna stop showing. Hold on, let me go back to this. Um, here we go. What's going on here? Gizmodo emailed the DOJ press office, which acknowledged receipt of our email, but didn't answer our questions. So yeah. So yeah. So anyway, let me go on. Hold on. Yeah, damn it. Where's it at? No, I don't go there right now. Yo, guys, hit that like, share, the comment. Say, come on, dude. Like, really, bro. Let's do this. Let's do this stuff, man. Let's do this. Let me go to my bookmarks real quick. Let's share this tab instead, because I'm gonna show you guys what led me down a freaking little search here, and I'm pretty sure all you guys, do that too, and you know what I'm saying. Here we go. I'll get to that later. So here we are. Oh, I didn't know. Well, freaking faggot over here. Oh. Oh yeah. Wow. CNN is now reporting that the deployment of urban search and rescue teams in Texas was delayed for 3 days because of Chrissy Nome and Donald Trump. This is horrific. Of course, Harry Harry Sissy. Yeah, damn punk, man. He's a punk. Yeah. Oh yeah, it was a Colin Rugg deal. Where's Colin Rugg at? There you go. Shout out to Colin Rugg. Here you go. I ain't clout chasing. I just give credit where credit's due, guys. I don't clout chase either. See, this here is what this what led me, because I was like, what the heck is going on here? That damn it, give me freaking A. Hold on, bruh. Okay, so this here is when I did some digging, because oh shit, hold on, give me gosh damn it, hold on, bruh. I mean, that's another Colin Rugg deal. Hold on, give me a second. Let me see here. Where's he at, dude? I think I have, let me go search real quick. Let me search because I had it, and then because he's the one that put it on his X, and then I was searching through X. Let me see. Go through his account. Hold on. Dude, he had like a 10-minute video or something like that on there. Or I might be dude, I could have sworn he had like a 10-minute video on it, but because that's what it got me suspicious. So anyway, so this what I'll just go ahead and explain this to you guys. This, it was dude, I could have sworn it was him, dude. Yeah, I can't move on something. Right? It's when I smell something, it's like I'm a shark. You know what I'm saying? Smell that blood. I I gotta like because it's gonna drive me nuts. It's gonna freaking drive me nuts. And I know good and well I'm gonna find it when I'm off the podcast, and then I'm like, damn, bastard. And there's one thing I still support. I support Donald Trump. I voted for him. You know what I'm saying? I voted for the man because because you know he because of his actions on his first term. That's his actions on the first term. I've always liked the dude, like I said, in Apprentice. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, that's a leader. That's a leader right there. And I thought, why didn't he run for president back in those days? You know what I'm saying? So all we had was what Bush and Obama. I was like, dude. Anyway, yeah, this is here. This is what got me. So right here, they're saying, hold on. So anyway, right here, okay. So I'm a mess here. Give me a sec. So here, all right. Okay, I thought this was at first. I thought this was Epstein's, cell here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, what the heck? I'm like thinking. I'm like, okay, why is there a phone there? And these guards are entering this room. I don't know anything about the prison. I've never been in a prison before. Not yet, at least. So I've never been in a prison, so I don't know you know what I'm saying? I applied for back in the days, back when I was younger, but it didn't work out. So I didn't get it. So, I got passed over, overlooked, passed over. So anyway, that's neither here or there. But I tried. I tried because I went. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, but yeah, and when I saw because I think the video started from like the video that I saw was it was at the 10 p.m. 10 p.m. mark or whatever, 10 a.m. whatever. Anyway, so this is what I saw, and I'm thinking, this is his cell, right? I'm thinking this is his cell, and then I'm like, I thought they said nobody was in and out and going in and out in it. You know what I'm saying? He was all alone. That threw me for a loop. I was like, "What the heck? Like seriously?" I'm like, "Wow!" And I'm like, doing this on my phone. I'm like, "What the heck?" I'm just enhancing. I'm like, yo, what the heck are they doing in the cell? You know what I mean? Because like I said, I thought this was his cell. Of course, you know. Let's speed this up a little bit. So she goes in, closes the door. There's another dude going in. Once again, I'm thinking this is his cell. He's calling in. I'm like, whoa, that dude. There's like two people. Once again, I'm still thinking it's his cell. Maybe she called him on the radio for help. And what threw me off, what got me to research it some more when this guy came out. I'm like, bruh, where did you come from? Did he just time jump? Like, what the heck? I'm like, bro, where did he come from? And then he's throwing shit in there. And I'm like, whoa, what the heck, man? What are they doing? Like, I didn't even like see, and then oh shit, hold on. You guys notice something too? I think this thing was time jump too. I think the time jumped. It went from 7:47 all the way to 12. See? It was weird. It's weird. So yeah, basically that when that dude came out, I thought I knew something was fishy. I was like, what in the freaking world? Blah blah blah. And I'm like, how in the hell? How they lied to us? They lied to us. Bro, like seriously. So then, because I questioned that, and then I was like, "What the heck is going on here?" Because nobody's supposed to leave. Nobody was. They said they claimed camera wasn't working. There's no footage. Nobody went into his cell. He didn't. Nobody came out. And went in or out of his cell. But he was there all by himself. That that's what they said, right? So yeah. So anyway, um, so I found out that this right here, and I had the video on my freaking phone, but of course, eh, I didn't save it or whatever, so I ended up freaking going off. I couldn't find the tab again, and I was just like, whatever. So anyway, they're saying that this video here they're saying in this video this is Jeffrey Epstein. It's like I was telling my manager at work. I was like, dude, this could have been like some you know other white haired dude, but let's go with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this could have been some a black dude with white hair. You know what I'm saying? That old black dude. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Because you really can't tell. Who this is. I mean, they said they enhanced it or whatever the case. And the funny thing about it is that it was 2019. Didn't we already have 1080p? Like, and why you know, grocery stores have better cameras than this. You know what I mean? Like, come on, really? Like, why is our in our prisons in American prisons we have crappy cameras like this? Like seriously, man, you can go to a grocery store. You can see that the self checkout. I can see a pimple that's on my face, bro. That's how good it is. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. Like, you guys got to do better than this. So anyway, they said around this 10:49. This clip here is where Jeffrey Epstein. Dude, where's the hell is he at? Oh yeah, it's right here. This is the dude right here that talks. But anyway, we're gonna run this. So they're saying that. Okay, so I'll shut up. Give me a second. Yeah, we that which we all know about. So anyway, I went to the Daily Beast, right? They had an article I found, and because I was going to Gronk, I was like, Gronk, what is wait, because obviously this is not his room. So where and then something came, there's some thought came up. I'm like, you know what, Gronk? Let me ask Gronk real quick. Hey, Gronk, where is Jeffrey Epstein's cell in relation to the camera? His cell was over here. So this is the camera, which this is not his cell. This is definitely not his cell. This must be where they call and they go in and out. Must I don't know, some kind of. This seems like some kind of another hallway or something like that, or maybe another room that leads somewhere. I don't. Who knows? But anyway, they're saying his room was like right here, right in this area by the desk. They said, I guess he made a phone call. So then that's they're walking these two officers are walking to his cell, see? So his cell was right here and the camera's like up here. So the Daily Beast, they had like a map, which dude, I don't know where like I said, I don't know where they had like a little map. So anyway, this is the only camera that was able. They said that was able to view his cell. You were able to see it. I'm like, you can't see nothing. He could have walked out the front door for all back door for all we knew. And like there's like nobody on this desk or anything at the desk. I was like, dude, that's nuts. I'm like, what the heck? Bro, this is the only camera that worked. I'm like, bruh. And this is what they're going by? This is what they're going by? I'm like, man, you guys are a trip, bro. You guys are a trip. That I was like, what the heck? And then you see that time lapse, and then in that 10-minute video, also you saw that a couple time lapse. You saw that one on that just on that one. You saw for jump from 12:47. I'm sorry, 7:47 or something like that, all the way to freaking 12 o'clock. I just noticed that too, and I'm like, and then you see that 2-minute gap. You know what I'm saying? It's like so it's all over the place, bro. And you guys are expecting us to believe that? For me, I know that we're not gonna see the list. I'm just gonna be real. We're not gonna see the list. Good luck at trying to get it. You know what I'm saying? That list that all these other freaking influencers. Yeah, you got the list. No, you didn't. It was already leaked. It got leaked like eons ago, and and then all of a sudden, oh, you're nothing special. To find out you're nothing special. So I'm just saying for what it is, man. Seriously. So anyway, yeah. So yeah, it's me not hate. I don't care. I don't care whether, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I don't care. I'm just saying, I it was you're basically you guys are nothing special to be honest with you. But it's just that you guys just get to do this all day, you know. But like I said, no hate whatsoever. But so that's what led me down this stuff. And then I'm like, well, and defense to Dan Bongino, Dan, dude, I he's the second in command, the Patel, so he's gotta, you know, he can't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like to a point. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest here. I mean, he can't. He really can't say what he wants to say. He's gotta. I would say just play the game because he's second in command. And yeah. Though he could have just said, you know what, I'm done. But then once again, we would have questioned him and answered and asked him why. Would he give us the truth? Probably not. Probably not. I'll give him that much. You know what I'm saying? Of a deal. I'm not making an excuse for him, but I'm just giving him this much. You know what I mean? Just it is. He's if he quit, then he definitely saw something. You know what I'm saying? Which he saw. I'm pretty sure he saw everything. But to sit here and lie, and to us, the American people, even though the we followed him, we were cheering him on. I'm like, dude, he's gonna be a bulldog. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna let him loose, man. I'm telling you. All of a sudden, I was like, dude, I'm disappointed. I'm just disappointed. I'm disappointed. I know we're not gonna see the list. I know stuff like that. I'm just more disappointed in him. And all of them actually, all of them. But I don't see. I don't want to see the. I don't. I know we're not going to see the list, but also I think I think I just want to see who's on it. Which is weird. It's contradictory, but so you don't know who to. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to vote. If some like say it's like like the DeSantis or whatever, or not say like Joe Smo is on. I'm sorry, at least DeSantis. Joe Smo on the list. Joe Schmo, and he's running for freaking a second, third, fourth term again. Why would you want to vote for somebody like that? You know what I mean? Why? That's what I think. I don't think anybody. I don't for me. I'm not speaking for myself. I do not. I'm sorry. I don't want to speak for everybody. For myself, I just want to see so I can call him out, him or her out, or whatever the case is, and just whatever, not vote for them. No, you freaking belong under a jail, you piece of shit. Plain and simple. That's why I think in a nutshell, people just want to, and also if this Joe Smo or Joe Schmo's are on the list, for them to be held accountable for the most part. That's all we want to see. You should be under jail or in jail or whatever the case is. Plain and simple. We just want to see people held accountable. That's it. I just want to see people held accountable. But then there's theories out there that are saying this is just a theory, that are saying that um, Trump probably was approached by whoever, let's say the establishment or whatever, saying, "Do you really want to release the list because it could crash our economy? It could do, this everything. All the basically the world would burn to the ground. You know what I'm saying? So maybe they, you know what I'm saying. You sure you want to do that? Just like I said, it's a theory, which to save 1,000, to you know, uh, the basically the damage has already been done, but to save millions of people and their livelihoods and stuff like that, what do you which one do you which one do you pick? You know what I'm saying? That's been floated out there because I actually, they said on Facebook, or somebody wrote or whatever the case, but I also heard it too from other um, um, podcasters, floating that theory around that, would you want to save what I'm saying? Would you want to save the millions of people and their livelihoods and stuff like that, or just like not letting it slide, but you know what I'm saying? But you see what I'm saying? Like it's basically you're in a rock in a hard place. See what I'm saying? And that's that theory that's been floating around out there. So I'm like, I'm like, so anyway, yeah. But Bongino says that here we go. So I'm not talking that much. But yeah, that's a theory that's been floating around, that they got talked to by their some some person or whatever the case, or whatever the case. It's just that, like I said, it's a theory. So it's, but doesn't make it right. Like I said, doesn't make it right. But see, the anarchist in me would be like, yeah, let's let the yeah, like I said, in the past, I'm like, oh, these people, they make the rules and then they go home and uh, like basically do each other's wives. You know what I'm saying? Or husbands or whatever. And that's the way I thought back in the days, and still rings true these days. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, I'm the younger me was basically right. Like I'm like, what these people, man? In the end, we're all rats. You know what I'm saying? The cage, like that Smashing Pumpkin song. Well, despite all my rage, just a rat in the cage. Exactly. And I've always said that too. We're rats, and this we're laboratory rats, man. And these people are trying to play the scientists. They're trying to play God. They're playing scientists. And they're trying to play God. Once again, not far from the truth. And it's an analogy, folks. But yeah, here we go. This was in June 4th, 2025. Am I sharing this? Hold on, man. Hold, please. No, I'm not. Of course I'm not. Hold on.
attack,
There you go.
investigating terror attacks that do happen. And I'm going to add another thing, Sean. We're not the Federal Bureau of freaking word games anymore, okay? It's the Federal Bureau of Investigation. When some
Oh, you're not? You're not, Dan? You're not? Really?
guy shows up
Remember
at a
that, guys.
scene,
Remember
and
that.
I'm getting an intel stream from our information center that indicates he threw an incendiary device, okay, while screaming very specific words with multiple witnesses and video. We're damn well going to investigate it. Listen to me, investigate it as targeted violence and a terror attack. You don't like it, you don't have to follow my official Twitter. But I saw a whole bunch of people losing their minds. What the hell you want us to investigate it as? A freaking grand larceny auto? We're investigating it as a terror attack because that's the information we have. And we're not going to start playing euphemisms games and word games anymore. We're not doing it. With the Federal Bureau of Investigation,
But
and
you
we're
are,
going to
guys. You
investigate
are.
properly.
For those, and it's kind of a lightning round because I don't have enough time unless I gave you the whole hour, and it would be worth doing it. But for people like me, I'm one of them that wants answers to the Epstein file issue and what happened.
Yeah.
And I never knew there were 10,000 hours of tapes. And was it suicide? You said there's a tape or JFK, RFK, MLK files. All of that is still coming, correct?
Yeah, JFK, we're done. The FBI's equities in that, we've already released that.
Yo, and how long did it take for them to release the file for JFK? Like of like decades, you know what I'm saying? Like, really? Like, bruh. And MLK too? Same thing. So are you telling us in a way, Dan, we'll release the files when everybody on that list or has has perished? Then we'll know the truth. I mean, we I won't, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, not in my lifetime. Maybe my grandkids or lifetime or whatever the case, they might know, you know what I'm saying? But Epstein, like, really? You know, come on, bro.
RFK, I got to check back on that one. There is more coming on.
RFK, what's the deal with RFK? I'm not understanding that one. That's that really want. I'm gonna dig into too, because that
The
when I
Epstein
listen to this,
files, listen, I know this is a hot potato for folks. I totally
It is.
understand. My comments were clear. I'm not paid for my opinions anymore. I work for the taxpayer now. I'm paid on evidence. That's it. The evidence we have in our files clearly indicates that it was, in fact, a suicide. We do have video. It's not the greatest video in the world. I don't want to set expectations on fire. However, the video does show in that specific block that he goes in, made a phone call. You'll see 12 hours of.
Hold on. It doesn't show him making a phone call though, Dan. It doesn't. It doesn't show him making a phone call. He's coming from somewhere. maybe coming from making a phone call, but video doesn't show him making a phone call. I mean, doesn't like I said, you don't even know who that is. Like I said, it could be a black dude with white hair. I mean, shit. I mean, older black dude with white hair, old man with white hair. I mean, it could be a Spanish dude with white hair. You don't. We don't know.
Guards going to basically check on him, come back. You'll see no one really comes out in that bay, in that area,
Hold on.
than him. There's
You
no
right?
one in that specific block that he goes in, made a phone call. You'll see 12 hours of guards going to basically check on him, come back. You'll see no one really comes out in that bay, in that area, than him. There's no one in there. When you combine that with the other evidence where
we allegedly see him go in that direction, but the camera that direction of his cell, allegedly, but we don't see him again. You're making it sound like there's another camera angle somewhere, and if that's the camera angle that you're describing, we need to see that camera angle that you're describing. I mean, come on, bro. Like what the heck? I mean, did you guys see that? I didn't, and even in that whatever that the other video, it doesn't show. You know what I'm saying? That, like I said, that 10-minute video that I found, that I believe it's the DOJ files, which I will click on or whatever later, but real quick. But yeah, you don't see him in. I don't that they're not 10-minute film or whatever the case is. What was supposed to be 10-hour, but they sped everything up. It's I was like, what the heck? Like, you don't see where's Epstein at? You see all the other prisoners playing, doing their own thing or whatever, guards doing theirs and blah blah blah, but you don't see Epstein anywhere. You don't even see him in his damn cell either, because you can't see his cell, bruh. But we're not gonna play no word games, right?
we will be releasing in the coming weeks. We're still finalizing some of the products. I think it's pretty clear. However, as I clearly indicated in some of my tweets on my official account, listen, investigations, if new information surfaces in the future on any of these cases, we're always open. I'm just telling you, there's nothing there in the file at all that indicates anything other than, in fact, a suicide.
Let me ask you about, and again, a lightning round.
I have a question. I just thought about this. What if he is telling the truth? Whatever information that bear with me. What if he is telling the truth? I don't see, from what I'm seeing on the paper and whatever the case is and what I'm seeing here on the file, he did. Just play. I hate to say devil's advocate here, but what if he is telling what if he's telling the truth? What if he's telling the truth and saying, this is what I seen? And dude, I just, which, you know what I'm saying? This is what I seen. And I'm telling you guys what I seen. I'm telling you guys the truth. But then again, you go back to the video where him and Kash Patel, they're interviewing with that Maria chick on Fox, and he's like he's just like, he wants to say something, but he can't. He's just like he's like just basically biting his tongue, and he looks like just like so like dude, I don't like doing this. You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. I don't want to be here. So yeah. But what if he is telling the truth? What if from his point POV, what if he is? That's devil advocate, which I don't like to play, but like I said, what if from his point? What if he is kept in the dark? And what if Pam Bondi and Kash Patel only know and they're keeping and no more than him, and they're keeping it from him? I don't know. See, it's a lot of variables here, but like I said, that's just the devil's advocate kind of thing. But I'm just sticking to, I'm not playing devil's advocate. I'm just saying whatever. I'm just saying devil's advocate because I'm like, okay, well, what if kind of thing. But and and what you see here when he says he's playing word games. He's doing this. He's blah blah. I'm just getting, like just trying to see angles. But my deal is that what I see here and what they say is what they show. Their actions are speaking louder than words. Their actions and what they're doing is speaking volumes. But yep. And moving on. So, going on, Mr. Patel. You can remember here. Share this tab here.
Make sure the American public knows the full weight of what happened in the past. Well, the Epstein Black Book, like on day one.
On day one, roll out the Black Book.
So will you work with me on this issue so we know who worked with Jeffrey Epstein in building these sex trafficking rings?
Absolutely, Senator. Child sex trafficking has no place in the United States of America, and I will do everything, if confirmed as FBI director, to make sure the American public knows the full weight of what happened in the past. Well, the Epstein Black Book, like on day one.
On day one, roll out the Black Book.
Sure.
So will you work with me?
Sorry. Right. Yeah. Sure, buddy. Sure. Yep. And they had him on Benny Johnson too. Let me see if I can pull that up. You guys, like I said, probably already seen that. So, Cash and Benny Johnson. Cash. Back in the days when Cash was this that viral clip. There you go. This is Bam Money. This is it right here. What the why? Bit. Dude, what the heck? Why are you not playing? Why are you not playing? Oh, here. Oh, I'm not even sharing. I'm sorry. God damn it. Here we go again. All right. My gosh, dude. I thought I was actually sharing it. Here we go again. Yeah, I know it's funny. But yeah, here we go.
Doing. Oh,
I saw you
give out the list.
I saw you make news this morning about that. I got to get to that.
Yeah.
You say that the FBI has Epstein's list. They're sitting on it. That doesn't seem like something you should do. You're protecting the world's foremost predator. That seems like an evil thing to do, regardless of who may be embarrassed in the release of that list. Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list. You don't think that Bill Gates is lobbying Congress night and day to prevent the disclosure of that list? And why is it that the Senate, and good for Senator Blackburn to try to get it out, but then Dick Durbin comes over the top and says, no.
Shout out to Senator Blackburn. She's trying to do something. She's trying to get get information on that list too. Or I'm sorry, that, and she's trying to do something else with human trafficking too. Just trying to get to the bottom of it.
We're not going to release the names. I don't care about the list itself, but if release the names, right?
I don't care about the list itself, but release the names. My.
What the hell are the House Republicans doing? They have the majority.
Yeah, what now that you're, what are you doing, Patel? Look like you're on 100 B's booger sugar when you went, bruh.
Majority. You can't get the list? You're going to accept Dick Durbin's word, or whoever that guy is, as to who is on that list and who isn't, and that
wow,
can and can't be released? Put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedophiles are. We have an election coming up, and we need to adjudicate this matter at the polls. God knows the FBI and DOJ aren't going to do anything. But how are you going to reward the FBI with a new headquarters building after their illegal surveillance on Donald Trump continues with a reauthorization of FISA, and we can't even get basic documents out? This is why America hates Congress. And this is why I'm tired of the Republican majority saying they're going to get the job done and failing. It's the same thing with.
Wow. Oh, my. Now that the foot is on the other, the shoes on their, now roles are reversed, and yep. Wow. Yep. Now you ain't saying that, right? You're not saying that now. My Cash. My. Now the shoe's on the other foot. That's the same. Now the shoe's on the other foot. And Pat and Miss Pam Blondie, or blonde. She's acting like a blonde. It's not saying that all blondes are dumb. Come on, guys. It's just back in the days there was a, I don't know if this still is, but saying that blondes are like airheads. You know what I mean? Yeah, whatever. Just saying. So let me see. Let me see if I bookmark it first. Let's see if I bookmark this. You know what? Screw this. I probably didn't. There you go. This is the infamous the thing that she said, she mentioned in her thing. Hold on. Let me make sure I'm sharing it first. Yo, shout out, man. 2 people. Hey, what's up, man? Thank you. Thank you for watching. Here we go.
Epstein's clients? Will that really happen? DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So have you seen anything that you said, oh my gosh?
Not yet.
DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients?
You guys hear that, right? So for you guys that don't know, this is what she. See if I and she touted all blah blah. She's gonna do this and that and blah blah this and that BS BS BS. So here she goes. Epstein. There's just also another. Here we go.
Hundred pages of documents. But, you know, Sean, I gave them a deadline of Friday at 8 a.m. to get us everything. And a source had told me where the documents were being kept, Southern District of New York, shock. So we got them all by, hopefully all of them, Friday at 8 a.m., thousands of pages of documents. I have the FBI going through them, and Cash is also, now that we have Cash here, it's a game changer, of course. And Cash is going to, Director Patel is going to get us a detailed report as to why the FBI withheld all of those documents.
Okay, I want to be clear because I think people got frustrated because they were expecting more. You were expecting more, and you didn't find out less than 24 hours before the release. You got a whistleblower that confirmed that there were way more documents that they were supposed to turn over, and then you found out just before that.
Well, sure. And you're looking at these documents going, these aren't all the Epstein files. You know, there were flight logs, there were names and victims' names. And we're going, where's the rest of the stuff? And that's what the FBI had turned over to us. And so a source said, whoa, all this evidence is sitting in the Southern District of New York.
Yeah.
So based on that, I gave them the deadline, Friday at 8, a truckload of evidence arrived. It's now in the possession of the FBI. Cash is going to get me and himself really a detailed report as to why all these documents and evidence had been withheld. And, you know, we're going to go through it as fast as we can, but go through it very cautiously to protect all the victims of Epstein, because there are a lot of victims.
Well, you had identified in phase one over 254.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, is that the only thing that would be redacted? Will everything else be made public that you get in your possession?
Yeah, the FBI hasn't had, obviously, they haven't looked at the thousands of pages of documents that they've just received Friday. Yeah. But Cash has a team going through them, and it's always about protecting the victim. But you know what? We believe in transparency, and America has the right to know. The Biden administration sat on these documents. No one did anything with them. And why were they sitting in the Southern District of New York? I want a full report on that. You know, sadly, these people don't believe in transparency, but I think more, unfortunately, I think a lot of them don't believe in honesty. And it's a new day. It's a new administration, and everything's going to come out to the public. The public has a right to know. Americans have a right to know.
And that goes the same with the JFK files,
JFK,
RFK files,
Martin
MLK.
Luther King. Yeah.
Yo, what happened, Pam? What happened? Transparency, right? Transparency. Yeah, American people have a right to know. And now, for those of you who don't know, now the bird, you know, I wanted to bring up you guys all up to speed, because sometimes we all have amnesia. I don't know if it's CERN or, you know, or whatever the case is, life. You know, I just wanted to bring this back up, because to make sure that we all know when she said what she said in this deal. Here we go. This is 2 minutes. Oh, hold on. Bam money. Make sure I'm sharing it, and we can just move on from there. Bam money.
Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is
So I'm going to put this on Spotify. So this interview, I believe, was actually after, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I think it was after July 4th or, damn it, I'm going to have to look at this. Let me see something real quick. Let me go off the screen. It says here, Hodge Twins are July 8th. Shout out to Hodge Twins. You know, I'm using this video from your, yeah. So anyway, from your Twitter account, your X account. So here you go. So they put here, it's like Pam and Bondi embarrasses herself with the bullshit excuse, and Trump acts like the Epstein case ain't a big deal.
Some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for a American or foreign intelligence agency. The former Labor Secretary, who was Miami U.S. Attorney Alex Costa, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of the stabbing?
Yeah, sure. If
Hey, Pam, could I just interrupt for 1
Sure.
second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking.
Trump, yes, you're right. This guy has been talking about this. We've been talking about him for years because why? You brought him up in 2015 before you were running before you were running for I think while you were running for president. Let's see if I can hold on, let me get this. You wonder why people are still talking about him? Yeah, damn, here we go. Let me go to my let's view channel here. Let's see here. History. Here we go.
Epstein in your remarks about in the Q&A.
Well, I think he's got a problem. I mean,
what do you think the problem will be?
I don't. Ireland was really a
And why
cesspool.
we're not
There's
playing?
no question
I'm
about
not
it. Just
understanding
ask
this.
Prince Andrew. He'll tell you about it. The island was an absolute cesspool.
The Clintons are friends
and
of
he's
yours,
been there
right?
for many times.
Let me refresh it.
You raised the question of Jeffrey Epstein in your remarks about in the Q&A.
Well, I think he's got a problem. I mean,
what do you think the problem will be?
I don't know.
You raised the question of Jeffrey Epstein in your
Bruh,
remarks about
why are we not
Q&A.
playing,
Well, I think
bro?
he's got a
Come on
problem.
now.
What do you think the problem will be?
Yo, guys, tap
don't
that
know, but that
like,
island
share, and
was-
subscribe button.
You raised
Share the podcast, like the podcast. Well, I'm trying to figure out why this is not even playing. Well, it's playing, but it's not, the audio is not here. Not understanding this.
You raised the question of Jeffrey Epstein in your remarks about in the Q&A.
Well, I think he's got a problem. I mean,
what do you think the problem will be?
I don't know, but that island
Dang
was
it, man.
really a cesspool. There's no question about it. Just ask Prince Andrew.
See, go into the
He'll tell you about
transcripts
it.
real quick.
The
Yeah, show
island was an
transcripts.
absolute cesspool.
So,
The Clintons are friends
and
of
he's
yours.
been there for many times. Well,
I don't know why it's not. I don't know why. I have no idea why it's not. The audio's not playing. But it says, I'm assuming that this guy here, or the reporter's asking. Well, not assuming. The reporter's asking is, you raised the question of Jeffrey Epstein in your remarks, even Bright and their Q&A. We got a problem. I don't know, but that island was. Oh, okay. So I guess hold on, give me a second. So as you raised the question of Jeffrey Epstein in your remarks, even Bite, and I don't just understand why this is not playing.
But I know
You're friendly. You know them.
So I don't know who's saying what. It's weird. So anyway, he brings up. He's basically, Trump is saying here that in 2015 that Jeffrey Epstein, the island is a cesspool. There's no question about it. Just as Prince Andrew, he'll tell you about it. The island was absolutely a cesspool. So he's a friend. He's been there for. So the reporter's like, he's a friend. He's been there for many times. Well, and then Trump's like, well, I can't say friends, but they were actually talking about the Clintons too in there. So it says, but I know friendly. But Trump's responding, well, I don't. yeah, he responded. Well, I don't know about friendly. Them basically they don't. He doesn't know them that way, but he knows them. He says that he has clubs. Um, have my clubs a lot. I have clubs, and everybody likes to play. Or I'm sorry, or he's I don't know what. See, that's what I'm saying. It's hard to follow. So anyway, yeah, he just basically he brings up Epstein. He brings up the cesspool of the island. He said it's a cesspool of people. The island. He asked Prince Andrew. You know what I'm saying? So he brings all this up in 2015. You know what I'm saying? So and then now that we are here in 2025, he's saying, what, yo, why are we bringing this up? And this is the press conference for, if you guys are listening, are going to be listening in audio. This is the press conference that he had, and a couple days after the 4th of July, and he was discussing, damn it, something. It was the economy, tariffs, and also the floods in Texas, and then this, and then the reporter asked him about Jeffrey Epstein. That's what Trump responded. But yeah, that's why people are, because you brought him up, Trump. You guys ran on this, Trump. You guys ran on this. Promises made, promises kept. We're going to show you the Epstein list. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Blah, blah, blah. And then when somebody asks you, whatever, you're going to release the list, it basically on the show, you're like, oh, were you serious? We still talking about him? Like, bruh, like, come on, let's move on. Let's blah, blah, blah. I mean, come on. You know what I mean? Like, bro, I don't, and what also, you can hear Pam Bondi's voice, sound more stern, in in this press conference when she's like, oh, I want to talk about it. You'll see here, watch. Well, if we're all fucking mind readers, Pam, you should have clarified yourself. We're not mind readers. If I was a mind reader, I'd freaking be a billionaire. Like, give me a break. Seriously? But you hear that tone in her voice? Seriously, Pam? We're going that route? Seriously? I said, I know I meant this. Well, nobody know what you meant. You answered the question. You answered them. They said the list. You answered it. But we're not. No, we're not. We don't. We're not. Dude, this is a slap. This is actually a phone book to the face, man. Or hey, yo, man, it's crazy. It's nuts. If you said what you meant, if you said and you meant for us, we're, like I said, we're not mind readers. You should have clarified it. Should have clarified that day. We're not no freaking mind readers, Pam. Let me read. Let me read. I went on a rant. Give me a second. Hold on.
File along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that. Also,
U.S. Attorney
I don't think I showed it.
and Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for a American or foreign intelligence agency. The former Labor Secretary, who was Miami U.S. Attorney Alex Costa, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of the stabbing?
yeah, sure. If
Hey,
I
Pam,
could,
could I just interrupt for
sure.
1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
Sure, sure. First, to back up on that, in February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I said I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that. Also, to the tens of thousands of video, they turned out to be child porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. Child porn is what they were. Never going to be released, never going to see the light of day. To him being an agent, I have.
Yeah, nobody wants. Of course, nobody wants to see that. You know what I mean? Nobody's asking for that. The videos and stuff. No, nobody's asking for that shit. No, none. Just want the names. You know what I mean? Like, come on. You guys ran on that. You guys ran on that.
Have no knowledge about that. We can get back to you on that. And the minute missing from the video, we released the video showing definitively the video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide. And what was on that?
Well, the video's not conclusive. Then why bring the video attention to the video? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm just a thought. I don't know. You see what I'm saying? It's like, you don't want to bring you go to you go to court and you're an attorney and you're like talking all this smack, Pam, and a lot of this and that. And he's like, you know what? I just don't have no evidence. Well, if I was a judge, how are you going to convict the damn how are you how are you if you don't have no freaking like see it doesn't make any sense though. Then why bring attention to the video?
There was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every night, they redo that video. It's old from like 1999. So
the video's old. So as far as 1999. So they used the same video to record. Said okay. So hold on. Since 1999, they use the same. They have the same video system, and they just record, and then after a day's over, like a 12-hour shift or 12-hour shift is over, they rewind it and back from the start, and then they overlap. They basically overlap it. Is that what you're saying? Like, okay, well then our prison system, they need new technology then. But to me, that doesn't make any sense because once again, we're in 2026. Cars can practically almost 2026, 2025. The cars can now practically drive themselves, and our prisons have 1999 cameras systems. I don't know. I'm just saying. Like, I'm just going off of what she's saying. That's it, guys. That's it. I'm just going off of what she's saying.
Every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night. And that's it.
But the video is not conclusive, so I don't whatever. I'm not getting it. So, yeah, you know what? Keep that shit, because the video that you guys has shown was basically it was a nothing burger. Bullshit, all bullshit. And you guys take the American people for fools. Guys, it's like that peaceful protest bullshit. Oh, they're peacefully protesting. Well, they're burning everything down in the background. But that's peaceful. Whatever, just my the way my mind works. So it would make it sound like metaphorically speaking. So anyway.
On Epstein.
Yeah. You heard that? She's like, now, or she's like, you know what I mean? Anyway, Pam Bondi, she's actually she was in Florida for like 2010, 2016. When I looked her up, actually was a lobbyist for she's an attorney / lobbyist. She worked for she was worked for Amazon and Uber. She was a lobbyist for Amazon and Uber. She worked also for, I believe, an organization that had something to do with sex trafficking, and Qatar paid the firm $115,000, I believe, monthly or whatever. So yeah, that's but 2000 around that time she actually worked on, like, maybe from that time 2010, I believe, to 2016, she worked on 12 cases, and out of the 12 cases, five defendants were a couple of defendants were charged with sex trafficking, while the other ones, which were involved in sex trafficking, were also, too, the organizations. The rest of them got a racketeering charge, which they said it runs hand in hand kind of thing, but anyway, without charging them for sex trafficking, to me, it's just that's just stupid. But that's just her out of that tenure, she didn't hardly do anything. Especially when Florida's the number three in sex trafficking, in the world. But yep. Anyway, this memo here that's going around too. Now I want to cover that, and then we'll call it quits. This is all I gotta say. If you ran on what you said you were gonna do, you can do it. But then you wonder why people are still bringing it up. You shouldn't have never said anything about Epstein or bringing Epstein to justice. You know what I'm saying? You should have kept that quiet, or you should have basically kept that quiet. If you know what I'm saying. Now I'm not blah blah. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about this shit again, kind of thing. And he's a creeping weirdo, which he is, and stuff like that. Epstein, and all that shit. Okay, well then you know what I'm saying. Like, don't say promises made, promises kept, not keep a promise. Just break a promise, and you expect the American people just to be like, oh, okay. I'm just saying, you're calling us stupid. You know what I mean? That's just, it's not feelings, it's facts. But anyway, here you go. The DOJ memo here that's going around too. You guys notice anything on this? It's a PDF, but you guys know anything about this memo? There's no date or signature. I mean, from what I was looking up, it don't have to be a date or a signature on a memo. I'm sorry, it doesn't have to be a signature on the memo, but there's always a date. So is this memo legit? And then I asked Gronk, too, and checked on also cross reference, and it says usually they don't have signatures memos, but they have dates. It just depends, but it also brings it up to where if it is still under investigation, you know what I mean? Like they're still investigating it without saying they're saying it's done, but they're saying it's not. So it just leaves me, you know what I'm saying? Is this legit? I mean, of course it is if it's from the, you know what I'm saying, and but are they still investigating this, but telling us that it's null and void? It's over with. I mean, there should be a date on here. I mean, I may be wrong. I could be wrong, but this is if you expect me to believe it, you got to have you know what I'm saying. You're not fooling me, me or anybody else. This doesn't have a date or anything on it. I don't know. I don't know. I think if it's the official memo or a document from the DOJ, it should at least have a date and a signature. But that's just me. That's just my deal. No, let me see real quick. Because I asked Grok, and this is what they say. In a second. I know they're not the most reliable source, but here you go. Dude, seriously? Get out of here. It says DOJ statement has to be dated. No, there's no legal requirement mandating that every DOJ statement or letter must be dated. Those standard practices for official correspondence include a date for clarity, accountability, and record keeping. Omitting a date, especially in high profile cases like Epstein, could raise eyebrows, as some ex posts suggested, because it might hint at intentional vagueness or oversight, but it doesn't inherently violate any rule. That's why I asked. I'm like, oh, I thought at least documents, especially from our government, supposed to have dates and signatures. You know what I'm saying? To make it, you know what I'm saying. That's another rabbit hole with eyebrow that I raised that I thought about, because I was like, yo, I'm like, what the heck? Why does it have no date? It says that does the DOJ put the dates on their letters? And it's like, yes, the Department of Justice typically includes a date on their official letters, as it's standard practice for formal government correspondence to ensure clarity and accountability. For example, letters to the University of Virginia regarding admission policies and DEI initiatives were dated such as April 11th and April 28, 2025. However, some posts on X have raised, okay, yeah. And I said, you said typically, what would be the reason they don't put dates on letters? Department of Justice might omit dates on certain letters due to oversight and informal communication of specific document types like templates or internal memos where dates aren't critical. So, in rare cases, sensitivity or clarify correspondence might intentionally include dates to maintain flexibility or security, but this isn't standard and could raise questions. Said maintaining flexibility, meaning by maintaining flexibility, I mean, the DOJ might leave a letter up undated to keep options open for when it's used or to avoid tying it to a specific timeline, especially in sensitive cases where timing could affect legal or investigative processes. For instance, an undated letter might allow adjustments without reissuing. Through this is rare and can spark concerns about transparency, as seen in some X discussions about missing dates on DOJ documents. Yep. The systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. And of course, they're saying that there wasn't a client letter. It's not a client list anymore, but Ghislaine Maxwell is in jail for what? Is she a political prisoner? Like, come on, bro. Like, exactly. What's she in for then? There's just no list. Come on. There's There was also no credible evidence found that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals as part of his actions. We did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties. Consistent with prior disclosures, this review confirmed that Epstein harmed over 1,000 victims. Each suffered unique trauma. Sensitive information relating to these victims is intertwined throughout the materials. This includes specific details such as a victim's name and likeness. We don't. But then another part of me was like, who are they calling victims? Is it the actual victims, or they think the victims would be the people that did harm to the actual victims? I don't know. I'm just I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just you know what I'm saying? I'm like, just I you know what I mean? It's just like what do we what you know? Anyway, these people, man. But here they're talking about this, but just my mind, it's the way it. But the way it's saying here is, I mean, the actual victims. But I'm saying, well, what if they're calling the people that harm the real victims victims? It's a stretch, but it's something to think about, though. I'm my opinion. One of our highest priorities is combating child exploitation and bringing justice to victims. Perpetuating unfounded theories about Epstein serves neither of those ends. Bruh. To the end, while we have labored to provide the public with maximum information oh shit, regarding Epstein and ensured examination of any evidence in the government's possession, it is the determination of the Department of Justice and the Federal Bureau of Investigation that no further disclosure would be appropriate or warranted. After through thorough investigation, FBI investigators conclude that Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide. Blah blah blah. Yada yada yada. And the conclusion that Epstein died by suicide further supported by video footage from the common area of the special housing unit where Epstein was housed at the time of his death. Yeah, we all know that. Blah blah blah. And then you just click on that link here, or well, whatever, before you turn it into a PDF, and then it'll take you to the video, the 10-hour video and stuff. So, yeah, these people, bro. That's what I'm saying. Nothing to see here, folks. Who did they get that to oversee this? Did they get that blind guy from Congress? Damn, what happened? He's blind. Who's that blind guy, bro? Let me look him up real quick. That's funny. To make light of this, you know what I'm saying? Which anyway, there's a lot of missing children that are, away from their parents at this mofo, and they're just, to me, this seems like it's setting, precedents for something else. You see what I'm saying? I'm just, I'm just throwing out there, it's just setting precedents. It's like but you only protect pedos when they're when they're working for the government, allegedly, right? That's what basically you guys are saying. Whatever. Like I said, you're not fooling anybody, guys. You're not fooling anybody. I just think that, Trump should have just said, like I said, if he would have said, it's kind of like, okay, well, how can he, say that? You know what I'm saying? Like, saying if he didn't say anything, still would have been like he's hiding something. But I'm not making excuses for him whatsoever. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? He could have said it in a different way. But you know what? We'll talk about this later. Next question, please, or whatever the case is. then they still would have been like, what is he hiding? But that what he said is, and what Cash Patel and them are doing, it's to me, it's all bullshit. But let me see if I can find something funny. All right, guys, we're over way over 2 hours. I didn't expect it to last that long. But yo, thanks for watching. We're gonna go to happy endings, and you know what? Let me look for something real quick before I say I sign off. Let me see here real quick. I didn't basically like what Trump said, and why is Pam Bondi being and Cash Patel being protecting, treating us the American people like we're freaking idiots. Like I said, should have said nothing from the beginning. Nobody would have been talking about it, Epstein. But since you brought it up, years ago, and now, until now, you know what I'm saying? You expect everybody to be quiet about it? No, they're just gonna make people dig and keep on digging. But like I said, realist here. We're not going to see the list, and the names of on that list, the names, the names, not the victims' names, but the names of the people that did the crime. We're not going to see them. We're not going to see those. And then there's talk that Trump said, we can't release the list, or you can't release the list because then it's going to cause like mayhem. Apparently, allegedly, that's what he told somebody, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. Oh, dude, I'm trying to look for something funny, bro. I'm trying to look for happy endings, man. Come on now. Let me go on TikTok. Maybe I can find something funny. I'm looking, guys. I'm looking. Please hold. Dude, I love these AI videos here. Hold on. All right, let me share this, and then I'm gonna end it there. Oh, shiznizzle. Bruh. All right, guys. Hold on. Share screen. You mean to tell me I can't freaking view that on TikTok? You mean to tell me I can't view that? Let me refresh this list. Let me see it real quick. All right. Anyway, no happy endings. Anyway, we're going. Yeah, obviously I can't, for some reason, can't bring TikTok up. And then, I don't freaking know, bro. Let me see this. For some reason I can't do that. I don't know why it's not. Maybe I'll send it to myself in a second. Ooh. Anyway, all right. You guys have a good one. Thanks for watching. Just keep on grinding, guys. All right, love you guys. Mean it. Deuces.